Hello and welcome to ICANN Media TV. I'm your host, Rob Hislop. In this edition, we're chatting with Sharon Sidney, who is a representative of KatchCan in Bahrain. So it's kind of interesting. It's one thing to sell KatchCan products to people in Alberta. What's it like bringing a Canadian company to the Middle East?
It's actually a fantastic opportunity, not just for KatchCan, but for all the Canadian companies. Canada is very well respected over there, and they are excited to have an office, a Canadian company, and an office of KatchCan in Bahrain. Lots of support. It's great to be able to support that part of the world as well.
When people think of the Middle East, I'm guessing they might only have ideas about it or impressions from what they see on TV, because most of us don't get a chance to go there. What is it like doing business there?
I guess it's like doing business anywhere in the world. Everyone's different that you speak with, but we're still selling to oil and gas companies. It's wonderful to do business with people in the Middle East.
Do they do it a little bit differently? Because I know I've had a chance to speak with people in chambers of commerce. They say in the United States, you know, they expect you to come busting through the door and say, this is what we've got. And when you say no, go away, they expect you to come back again. Whereas Canadians are more inclined to go up, knock on the door, state their piece. And if they're told to go, I'm told by U.S. representatives with the Chamber of Commerce, the Canadians will then turn around and go and not come back again. You know, and that seems to be a typical way to describe them. With the Middle East, how might things go there?
Or it's a lot more polite than that. So we do business over lots of coffee or tea, lots of chatting, and it does go back and forth and back and forth. It can be a little bit slow, but we usually do not get told, go away. We do keep coming back, and we are welcomed back.
And the oil industry there a little bit different as well from what we've got here, because of course here we've got the unconventional oil and it's a different market there. How do our products transfer over to their industry?
Look, the products can transfer over to the industry, no problem at all. I think the difference that we have, say, from what I've seen in northern Canada to what we have in the Middle East, is we have larger drilling rigs, and therefore we just sell more of the product. Just have to suit what their needs are. And probably a little bit more difficult to find the rigs. We have a lot more space down there, so we do a lot of driving in the desert.
What you've got a big event coming up in the Middle East, and perhaps you can tell us about this conference and its significance both to the oil industry and perhaps to Canadian companies looking to do business down in the Middle East.
Yes, well, we do have the oil and gas show ADIPEC coming up in November, and it is a very, very large show, and it is increasing in size in terms of the footprint of the people there that are displaying their products, as well as the number of people in the door every year. It is an absolutely fantastic opportunity for anybody to showcase their products, to get across to the people out there what they do. It is also very important for Canada and for the Albertan community. Is that what I call it? Albertan?
Sure. Alberta.
Albertian community.
I didn't say Albertian. You came up with that on your own.
Okay, I do make up some words. Okay. But we will be under that pavilion with other Canadian companies there. So a wonderful opportunity.
Is this a type of thing that a trade show like this that can really be a big, I guess, introduction to the industry or a step into it for a Canadian company?
Most definitely. So there is a lot of people that will come through that door. They will be interested. If you can explain your products to people that it's clear and precise, it will generate a lot of interest.
You've done business in the Middle East before, and I'm going to ask you this because a lot of people, when they think of the Middle East, they think of the differences in how the genders are treated, women and men. How is it for a woman representing a company in the Middle East to do business with people who live there?
Well, I'm still there. So that's the short answer. There are obviously some differences, and culturally you do have to respect that. Where I am living in Bahrain, it is a very open country and no problems dealing with a female. Perhaps a little bit different in some of the countries, For example, in Saudi Arabia, it is a little bit different there, and often I will not be as respected as much as a male. But then that doesn't go for everybody. So no problem with working there.
When last question for you here. Here in Canada, of course, the oil industry is running into obstacles when it comes to setting up pipelines, Keystone XL, and coming up with new developments. Is the same sort of opposition or challenges present in the Middle East, or is the business atmosphere a little bit more favorable to the oil industry there?
I would say it is more favourable at this time. Those obstacles that exist here and in other parts of the world haven't really reached to that scale yet. It may, and finding that there are other things that are coming to the forefront more now with things like environmental footprint, which is also a fantastic thing for everybody concerned. But at the moment, it's favourable.
We've been chatting with Sharon Sidney, the Catchcan representative in Bahrain. That brings a close to this edition of ICANN Media TV. I'm your host, Rob Hislop.